I'm Aaron Gallo.
I'm Marty Hogan.
And I'm Eric Berry.
And we're from the Starfleet Escape podcast. And you're listening to another great Four-Eyed Radio product. For more shows, check out foureyedradio.com.
Hey there, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios, and this Four-Eyed Radio presentation is being proudly brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another week of Appropriately Inappropriate. How you guys doing? Hope you had a good week last week. And hope you enjoyed last week's episode with comedian Joe Gangemi as our guest. If you haven't listened to it yet, go back and take a listen. This week we have a super cool, fun guest for you who's another comedian in the Phoenix scene, Mr. Anthony Desamito. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We are good. Off the top, you can follow me on Twitter at Kevin_Elliott. You can follow Nancy on Instagram. At N. Garrigus.
At N. Garrigus. I get this wrong.
You were good last week.
But I still have 104 followers.
You got 2 more this week.
Oh,
good.
And I still don't know how to say
listen.
it. At N. Garrigus. And they're people from the podcast because I don't know them.
So, guys, thank you for following Nance every week. She keeps building up without posting pictures.
Because I forgot to take a picture of Joe.
You gotta take pictures.
We'll take a picture
We'll
of
take
you.
pictures of us.
Yeah. One quick thing I got to shout out is Friday, February 6th at like 7:30, I think, at Stand Up Scottsdale in the Taffy Room. Chris Centeni, who's been a guest on the show twice, has a 20-minute set that he's going to do that night. And I always tell you guys, look, when they have shows, I'm going to promote them. So everybody go out and see this kid perform because I've told you when he was on the show and when he's not, he's so goddamn funny. So he'll prove it to you. February 6th, Stand Up Scottsdale in the Taffy Room. Go see him. I think it's like 7:30. It's $5 or free if you like the Taffy Room on Facebook. So do that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, check out Chris. He's funny.
And Anthony, where can everybody find you, follow you, promote the hell out of yourself?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Anthony Desamito. And then I'm going to be on Arizona's Funniest Comedian Contest, the preliminaries, on February 11th. And then I'm going to be at the Comedy Spot February 8th for the Bill O'Connor show.
Perfect.
So when does this come out?
Sunday.
Yeah. You're like 3 months from now. You're not going to be able to see me. Okay, so Sunday, that's pretty cool. Okay. Yay.
I found you on Twitter. Following.
Ooh.
Done.
Wow. Listeners, find me on Twitter.
So, Anthony, my man. Comic.
Whoa, I'm your man.
In Phoenix.
Take
it easy, bro.
Yes, I am indeed a comedian in Phoenix. That's what I do.
How long have you been telling jokes to people out loud?
Well, 5 years in a row.
5 years in a row?
It's going to be 5 years in a row. And I first did it 7 years ago.
Okay.
In Flagstaff, Arizona. And so...
is that where you're from?
I'm not... Well, I live there. I'm from Yuma, Arizona. But
what is that like?
Really? Your family's from Yuma? So do you go visit?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's cool.
For every wedding and funeral, we're there.
Every wedding and funeral.
That's about it.
Wow.
That's what brings me to Yuma.
Cool. Whereabouts in Yuma?
Well, my mother's from Somerton.
No way.
Yeah.
Somerton represent. Yeah, I know a lot of people from Somerton.
And then that's really the only...
That's it.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I moved to Yuma when I was 8 years
They were
old.
farmers.
Oh, farmers. Yeah, lettuce? Probably.
Chickens,
Probably.
birds, lots of birds.
There's lots of lettuce in Yuma. We're known for our lettuce. And so,
That's what they're known for?
yeah, it's like a lot of lettuce
for
farming.
something.
Yeah. For immigrants chopping lettuce.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, then I moved to Flagstaff when I was like 20 years old, and I did stand up when I was like 20.
For what reason did you move to Flagstaff?
I wanted to leave Yuma. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Flagstaff.
She finished my
Just
sentence.
Get out of Yuma. Have you been
Look
to
at
Yuma?
you two already finishing each other's sentences.
Right. We're besties already. Nancy and Anthony forever. And so, like, I left to Flagstaff because my friend was going to NAU, and she literally said, "Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, get me out of here, because I was just sitting at home playing Final Fantasy and not doing and living in like this trailer that my dad built in the back of our house.
Going to McDonald's for the free Wi-Fi.
Well, I wasn't even on the internet. I really wasn't. Like, it was just me and some cats, which I was allergic to. I don't know why I lived with cats. And
allergic to them, and those are his choice roommates.
Yeah, they were my roommates.
Get me out of here.
I didn't know why. I didn't know I was allergic to cats. I just
thought you had allergies.
Yeah, I thought it was seasonal.
Well, yeah,
I thought it was seasonal year round.
The allergies here.
I was
it's
like,
dead. Nothing grows there. It's like a dust bowl.
I thought it was the dust. I thought I was allergic to dust. And then I got.
So I'm going to continue to live in Arizona.
Yeah. The cats
but this
bring
dust
in
is
all
killing
this
me.
dust.
But I got like full on allergy test, and like I found out that I'm allergic to cats and then grass, which I didn't know either. And then I'm like, oh, that explains it. When I was a kid, I was always itchy when I rolled in the grass.
When you get those allergy tests done, they always test for like weird, like they test for tons of things, and they'll go, oh, well, you're allergic
20,000 things.
Right.
I'm also allergic to mold. So I'm like, there's 3 levels. I'm like, the third level is grass and cats. And then the first level, I'm allergic to mold and cockroach feces.
That's what I was going to say, because my sister got that done, and they're like, you're allergic to cockroaches. Stay away from cockroaches. She's like, oh, thank God you told me. Because that
not a problem.
changes the plans I had for my week.
And I used to live with, before I knew I was allergic to cats, like when I found out I was allergic to cats, I was living in a home with cats and cockroaches, and I was just
one's supposed to cancel out the other,
right? It just made it way worse, and so but that was when I was living in Tempe already. I moved to Tempe shortly after Flagstaff.
How long?
I've lived in Tempe for 4 years now.
Okay,
going on 5 years.
So you're a young dude.
I'm 27.
Dude, that's so young.
27.
Oh man, so
is that young?
Yeah, for us it is.
Yeah.
So man, where would you say you were raised? Yuma?
I was born in California in Imperial Valley, and I was raised in Mexico. And then I moved here when I was 8 years old. My mom and my whole family, we moved here. So, like, I was born in the U.S. I was basically an anchor baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
You may be my first anchor baby that I've met.
Oh, really?
What does that
that
mean?
I know of.
Right.
That means your immigrant parents came over here and had a child in the U.S., so they're a citizen now.
Right. So I'm a citizen.
Crafty.
My whole family, my mom, smart as hell.
Obviously.
She was like 7 months pregnant with me. She went through a hole under the border to have me here.
Whoa.
And she is
Athletica.
amazing. Yeah. She had a couple guys.
She's also
that she
the
was
anchor
paying.
leg on the Mexico.
When I was 7 months
Right.
pregnant, I didn't crawl through nothing.
Oh man, what people will do for a better life.
I get it.
And so, yeah, totally. Like everybody that I grew up with when we were kids, they turned out to be like druggies or like super religious, which I think is just as bad.
It is.
Yeah, because you're being controlled by like a substance other than yourself, you know. And so, I'm pretty happy about being here.
Happy that you got away from those two things.
Oh
drug and
yeah,
religion.
thank you.
I'm very
they're
happy.
here.
I mean,
It
that's
is
what we
weird.
believe.
It is weird though when somebody is hooked on drugs. When eventually they get sober,
They are
turn
hooked
to
on
religion.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That is so. You're so
Yeah,
true. Oh
they're
my god. Yes, that's so true. Okay, that's a good correlation.
Yeah.
But I found another correlation today that is so stupid.
Is
but
it
made
porn
me,
stars to comedians?
Kind of. It made me so happy.
They stop being
And
porn
I
stars.
just figured out this correlation, and you'll probably already know it because you're really good at TV stuff and whatever, writing, whatever. Dexter's Lab as a kid was my favorite show. I was a teenager.
I know this.
I was more like a
Yeah.
teenager, but it was my favorite cartoon
Cartoon
ever.
Network.
I loved every character. I thought it was the funniest show.
And compare it to what show?
Big Bang Theory,
Yeah.
which is now, as an adult, and has been my favorite show.
Oh,
Is it the same?
It is
the
the
same
same
people
thing.
that wrote it?
No. Seth MacFarlane was a part of Dexter's Lab.
I loved Dee Dee, Dexter. I loved the parents. The parents were great.
So are you like a science buff?
More than I think I realize I am, because
Yeah.
I do watch a lot of sci-fi, but I don't realize it. I have a ton of brothers, so it's just always around. So I know more than I
Right.
probably should know, but Those two shows.
Maybe
just
it's
make me laugh,
science
so.
comedy that
Science
you're
comedy
into.
I do like because they always reference to like Star Wars geek and stuff like that, and I was always around that as a kid, and not necessarily because I really liked it, but like I said, I have 3 brothers, so I was just like those nerds, but I love them. So I think that's why those comedies appeal to me so much.
I watched Dexter's Lab, and I liked it, but it was really like hollow sounding to me. Like it was kind of eerie because Dexter would just stand there and you would hear like no music footprints. There was no musical soundtrack to it, and I thought that was really creepy.
But then when his sister Dee Dee comes in, she's singing and dancing, there's music all the time. So I guess it'd be like that
whole era
like kind
of Cartoon
my
Network was like crazy. Like
I liked Johnny Bravo too a lot.
Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff
Ed,
Girls
Eddie.
is what I really liked. You didn't like Powerpuff Girls? I loved Powerpuff Girls.
That was kind of boring.
You thought it was boring?
But it was more comic book. It was more of a comic book than
totally
than those cartoons. I don't know.
Well, like it just went through its like
It was
season.
short-lived.
Yeah, like as soon as the movie comes out, it was over. Like Powerpuff Girls trend was sort of over, and the same thing happened with
They were like
Rugrats.
Charlie's Angels.
Do you need ice with that?
Oh yes, please.
Fuck yeah, you do. Where's the ice?
I used the rest of it.
It's okay.
Are you shitting me?
I can get some shaving.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
It was all the ice. There's
This
not an
was
ice maker.
pretty-
This
Dude,
was someone
Anthony
else's.
is drinking.
I
Hold on.
stole someone else's ice. This is a community refrigerator.
I'm talking about your cartoons.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was the other one? Oh, Powerpuff Girls, I think, relates to Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, very much so.
So, I mean, I finally put all that together. I'm like, oh, this makes
Powerpuff
sense.
Girls.
How did I never think of this before? I don't know.
I never thought of Charlie's Angels.
You know,
that
and
way.
what's funny, well, I don't know, maybe not funny, more pathetic. When I was a kid or younger, I hated SpongeBob. As an adult, I think it's so funny. It's always on. My kids watch it, and I just kind of overhear it. I think it's hilarious.
SpongeBob is so funny, and it's always been funny to me because it came out when I was in 7th grade. And I remember this girl in junior high. SpongeBob came out, and we're like in 7th grade, and like she didn't like SpongeBob. She was like, "I think it's fucking stupid." Can I cuss in this? Yeah. She's like, "I think it's fucking
After the fact.
stupid," and like you're gonna bleep it out. She
Drinking warm tequila, you can do whatever you
I'm
want.
drinking warm coconut tequila, guys, in somebody's like office somewhere in the middle of like what is this? Phoenix? Scottsdale. Okay, I don't know where I am at.
Phoenix.
Both of us
like
take
Phoenix.
offense.
Phoenix at all.
Like you're like, how dare you compare the beauty
by
that
the
is
way-
this office complex
By the
to
way,
Phoenix?
North Scottsdale, not to be confused with the
hello.
slum of South Scottsdale.
I couldn't see because it was raining. I could be in the projects. I don't know, but like
projects of Scottsdale,
this
where
is-
they only
this
make
is-
500,000.
I think this is the ghetto of Scottsdale. If there was one, this would be it. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Well, okay. Where's the ghetto of Scottsdale?
See it during the day, bro.
Okay, during
It's
the day.
closer to Tempe, I think.
Okay.
I've never
Oh, you
been.
think? Yeah, because
Yo,
they had the
Anthony's
strip
from
clubs.
Tempe. Now you're dogging on Tempe.
Yeah.
He just called
Tempe-
Scottsdale Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. You're fucked.
Yeah, I'm so fucked. No, Tempe's all ghetto. Like, except for a few. Like, southern Tempe is kind of nice. And then North Tempe is like where the ASU, Mill Avenue, all the ghetto sin and debauchery is. So.
The sex, drugs, and rock and
Yeah.
roll. Is that what the older people say?
Right.
It's sin and debauchery.
And it's called the All-American City, and some like
Most livable.
this is the most livable
Scottsdale.
Do
city.
you know Yuma 5 years ago was voted the most livable city?
Really?
Yuma.
Yuma was
Nobody
5
lived
years.
there.
I lived there 5 years
Real
ago.
estate.
It's getting bigger every time I go back. I swear there's another Walmart.
Last time I
I'm
went
sure
there,
there is.
there was a Target, a huge
Yeah.
Target. And we were there.
It was actually the same size Target,
been
but there
a-
was nothing next to it to make it
Oh,
look
funny.
like it was massive.
because I was there for
There
my
was just
grandmother's
tiny
funeral.
trees next to it. It made it huge.
Yeah.
My family was so excited because we all got like a couple of boxes of wine and like holed up in our motel rooms and just hung out and partied. 'Cause
Honestly, growing
was
up in
nothing
Yuma,
else to
that
do.
was what you did. People got dressed up to go to Walmart. It was insane. Like people were like all bougie, doing their hair. They would go to that would be like Saturday night because there was nothing else to do. That and the bowling alley and that and going to the park and go to punk shows in the park. I used to do that all the time. Go to a skate park, hang out, get drunk.
Going to the park means something different in Yuma.
Yeah.
Have you ever done comedy in Yuma?
I did it one time.
How was it?
It was okay. I was like a year in, and there was a show at the LZ Bar and Grill, which I am not like it had just opened, I think, and there was some people from high school there, and it was an awkward experience. I did good. I did 10 minutes. And they wanted to give me 5, and I was like, I drove here from Phoenix. Give me 10 minutes and drive for 5 minutes.
How far is the drive?
It's about 2 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
My grandma married the sheriff of Yuma.
What?
And he was the one who died. That's the last funeral I was there for.
Right.
And what was his name? Sage?
Wyatt
his
Earp?
last name Sage. George something. I'll look it up. Because everybody knew him. He was the sheriff, and his family owned like the only gun stores in Yuma, and they owned all of them. So anytime I tell his name, people know who he is.
Sheriff Yuma?
George was his name.
So
George Yuma.
He retired before he died?
He passed away.
Oh, he just passed away.
He was the sheriff.
Right.
I
moved
you were
away 5 years
arrested,
ago.
so that's good.
I was almost arrested once. Almost once. Because, okay, what happened was I was like 18 years old working at Quiznos right after, I thought that said Queef, but it says Quiet on that school bus.
Quiet.
But me and my friends from Quiznos, they were kids. They were still 17, 16, and I was 18. We decided to get wasted and, like, crash the AA. And so we... That's literally what you do in Yuma, right? And so
all do.
All of us.
I'm wearing a sombrero. My friends are in the back seat,
and that's it.
We have 40s, and that's it.
So much.
And like we had 40s, and we ended up like we crashed AA, and they called the cops on us because we were outside fighting, and then like somebody got slapped in the face, and we were crying. And then the cops came and they were like, "You're 18, you're not supposed to be hanging out with underage women." And then I was just like bawling like, "I'm gay! I won't die!" And then like,
please take me to jail.
I think they thought they must have thought it was funny because all they did to me was, because there was open containers in the car, I could have gotten a DUI. And all they did was take my driver's license away physically. And then I went and got it back the next day. Like, yeah.
You say physically, like they
like
hit you with a nightstick.
Yeah.
Give me that license.
Right. Yeah. It was, yeah. Well, like they just pulled it out of my wallet. They like I meant physically because that could also mean they took my license away, like through the court.
Mentally.
You know. Yeah. Mentally, metaphysically, it exited through my body. My driver's license. Because
Anthony can't remember the info.
We're gonna get really meta here. And so I got so drunk in Yuma all the time. My nickname was Shorty with a 40. I used to show up with 40s at the park all the time. It was awesome.
Why?
Yeah.
That was your drink of choice?
I drank Mickey's. 40s of Mickey's. Because that's what you did in Yuma.
How many, at the height of your 40 career, how many could you put down a night?
I don't know. I think I needed like 2, maybe 2.5 to get me where I wanted to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot. Now,
how many beers is that? What ounces?
Well,
it's 40
malt
ounces.
liquor.
Oh, worse?
Yeah,
Stronger?
A normal beer is what, 12 ounces? But malt liquor's stronger than beer is.
So maybe I was drinking maybe 80 to 100 ounces like every time I got drunk. Not a day, but
that's a lot of
but I used to get hammered all the time. Jaeger.
Oh.
I used to like get everybody to buy me booze. I was like,
how'd you get him to do it? What was your line?
I'll give you a ride home or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I'll take you home if you get me drunk.
If you get me drunk, and I'll drive drunk and take them home. Like,
I got 120 ounces of malt liquor. What's in it for me?
Or what I did, like I worked at a place, like I worked at restaurants, and there was always someone
Olive
that,
Garden.
yeah, I worked at Cracker Barrel,
Right.
and so
Gifts and food.
And so, like, there'd be a cook that needs a ride home, and I'm like, hey, would you buy me booze if I gave you a ride home? And then they're like, yeah. And so, fuck it, they bought me
That's
booze.
awesome.
And they walk out with, like, 4 bags of, like, whatever
you
booze
wanted.
I wanted, and I was set for, like, the week.
Zima.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Is that just
great.
something that was our generation?
Zima was very 90s.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was our generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was our
so,
high school.
I wasn't
generation.
drinking Zima.
So I guess the next question is, tell us the first time you got drunk.
The first time I got drunk, it was okay. I was.
It was
thinking,
in his
I was
mother's
thinking-
womb.
I was in my mother's womb. I was thinking about
Hey,
it.
he's Mexican.
Yeah, I probably sound like the biggest. I don't drink nearly as much as I used to because my
You're in
life.
good company.
Yeah,
most people don't as they get
right.
older.
Yeah, as they get older, they stop. But some people
if
just
they
keep
do, it's because
going,
you're an alcoholic.
or they're.
Well, you just drink different.
Yeah, you drink different.
More responsibly, right? The first, all right. Well, I'm gonna let you tell the story. But usually, the
there's
first
a
time you get drunk,
correlation.
you
You
throw up.
right? Because
Yeah.
you're like, this feels amazing, not so good. But
I don't think I threw up.
you just drink until you don't feel good anymore.
Tell the story.
Oh well, it was high school. I was around 16, and I was dating this guy that I shouldn't have been dating because he was like 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, because like in high school, I couldn't get any dick. Like it was like 2 gay guys and they were dating each other, and they were the
Right.
2 hot
Did
ones,
you
and I was
know-
like, and I looked like the way I do, and
I
so
have so many questions.
Go ahead.
After the story. After the story.
okay, and so I was hanging out. I was hanging out at my friend Jerry's house, who's also, I shouldn't have been hanging out with him because he was 22. And so, yeah, we were in like Okietown, which is like the ghetto of Yuma. It was, do you know Okietown? It's like 4th Avenue and like 30 is like 20th Street. It's just really bad
Oh,
neighborhood.
what do we always
Yeah.
say? Stay away from the
Yeah.
avenue.
Anything in the
stay away
avenue.
from the
Just
avenue
stay
is
away.
just really bad. And so I remember like, I remember having sex with my boyfriend, and then I remember wearing a helmet, and then I remember being in a bathtub, and then I remember just being, and then my friend Lillian was there, who is a lesbian now, but back then she was bisexual. She was dating a guy named Francisco.
Bisexuals, by the way,
Yeah.
so selfish.
Yeah.
Just
Bisex-
sleep with anybody.
Yeah, well, she doesn't sleep with. She's a lesbian now. So, I remember being drunk and being really hungover. I don't know if I threw up. I might have, but
But you can't even remember.
I can't remember. But
That's
I
At least he had his helmet on.
had my
drunk.
helmet on, so I was safe. But I remember blowing my boyfriend in my friend's bathroom, and
then being in the bathtub.
being in the bathtub. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know, and yeah, we were around like a lot of people were doing drugs and stuff, and
Man, Yuma is crazy.
yeah, dude, like I did meth growing up, like in Yuma
Whoa.
too. Yeah, like I was 16 years old doing meth and like the park and the
That's
cat and
why
cabs.
you have to
Yeah.
stay in sports.
Right, and my mom,
like
you have to
something.
stay in sports,
Yeah.
but don't do meth in sports because
You don't have time.
You have time. And so like I was addicted for like 2 years in high school.
Shit.
Yeah, and like
But you stayed in high school.
I
on
stayed.
that.
I
That's
graduated. I was coming down when I graduated. Like, but
What? Man,
yeah, I know. Kevin is like so shocked.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah,
But but I do have questions. Because for me, I've never done a drug, ever. Right? Other than alcohol, if you consider that a drug. I
and
drink.
cocaine
But no, I've
and
never.
heroin
Or Jesus.
and acid.
Besides
and
all the hardcore
there's a
stuff.
correlation. Remember?
But in high school, I mean, if you're addicted to it, how do you consistently get it in high school?
Well, I was working at IHOP at that time, and everybody at
Is it
IHOP
24 hours?
24 hours.
Anything 24 hours.
There's
Meth.
somebody that's...
Meth heads.
Yeah?
I swear that IHOP, like I did it once first at this gay party that we shouldn't have been hanging out at. I keep saying that.
Yeah.
Name this episode. Anthony should not have been hanging out at that place because there was this thing. Okay, there was Yahoo Groups, which is pretty big, like back in the day, and yeah, there was this group called Yuma Q, which is Yuma Queers, and then
Very original.
Like 6
right,
of them.
Yuma Q, and then like me and my gay friends would go. and crash their parties. We would find out through the message boards where it is and where it's at, and we would crash it, and they would let us party with them because they're like, oh, gay kids, they're very liberal, right? And so like we just partied at these gay houses, and I would make out with older dudes and just drink their booze and eat their food and swim in their pools. And then like
greatest party of all time.
Right.
Sounds like a good party to me.
And then one time my friend Christina was like coming to the bathroom with me, and then she like poured out a line of meth for me.
What does that mean? I don't know how meth is even taken except for Breaking Bad, right? Like,
yeah, you can smoke it, you can snort it, you can.
You have to do it with your
any
teacher.
drug you can almost
Yeah.
do
You have
that
to do
shit,
it with
right?
your teacher.
Yeah, you gotta do it with your teacher. And then it went from like doing it once a month, twice a month, and then I was buying it when I started working at IHOP. Everybody was on meth. Our manager,
Not about the pancakes.
the manager was so on meth.
He was the dealer,
Yeah,
right?
she was the dealer.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there was this one time, one of the waitresses, a baggie of meth fell out of her apron, and the manager found it and kept it and fucking did it.
Right, he didn't get mad.
Yeah.
She just did it. Like,
Yeah.
that's her punishment.
Wow.
I do your math.
Like your punishment is not having your meth.
That is a punishment.
Yeah, and
apparently.
it was for
Can't
her.
finish the shift, man. I get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I understand. You're excused.
But
Wow.
I haven't touched that
That's okay, I'll do
shit
it.
in like 8 years, and I'm fine. I don't even crave it anymore. I mean,
Well, that's
it's like
awesome.
never. I don't even remember.
High school, man. Addicted
Yeah.
to like every day you needed to do it.
I was getting
Is
to a
it
point.
addictive?
It is so addictive because
Like,
I was
when you
getting
don't have it,
well,
you're
I
like-
was getting skinny and I was looking really good, and I was just like, and then I was angry, you know.
Explain what the high is like.
It's
He's
like,
gonna leave and do math.
okay,
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna go. No, I
I'm
won't.
not.
I'm
Not
on
you.
meth right now, guys.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Well,
best
I'll
thing
need
ever. I gotta
I'll need
go.
another drink if we're
gotta
gonna
cut
talk
out.
about
no,
meth.
you know what?
I don't want to talk about
I
math.
knew he's passed
Yeah.
on since, but he was addicted to heroin and then became a comic. And
Yeah.
they would always have him come in because he got sober, and they're like, tell kids, go grab one of the cold. I put the Coca-Colas in the fridge and freezer. Well, you gotta. She has no ice. Dude, what the fuck is this place? Our studio sucks.
Not a bar.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What kind of bar is this, guys?
We gotta make a new bar / studio.
What is this, an IHOP? What kind of IHOP is this?
But
I don't have ice, but I have math.
Yay, that's ice.
no.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So he got off of heroin for like 15 years, stone cold sober, and they would have him once he made it to a certain status of where some people knew who he was. They would have him come in and talk to youth or people that were addicted to heroin, and say, tell them why not to do heroin. And he was like, "Why? It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's like being in a pool of puppies."
Right.
And he's like, "I'm off of it because I
you.
know how
Yay.
horrible it is."
It was.
But
Well, it was really good at first, and I really enjoyed the feeling. Like at first, it made you sick afterwards. Like you didn't want to do it. Like I literally was on the floor collapsing, and my mom was like, "Wow, you're really sick all of a sudden," and I'm like, "I know," and so, but the feeling was a tingling sensation everywhere in your body. Everything felt good. You felt pretty. You felt like sexy, you feel confident, you feel happy, your dopamine, you felt courageous and brave, and it was just it messed up your brain a lot. And
for how
and I
long
think
at a
like
time?
like if you did it lasted you were on a trip for a few hours.
Yeah.
I think you were like for a good 4 hours, like you were high, and then you would come down during the
So
fourth
then what
hour.
happens when you come down?
Then you start feeling sick. You start wanting to eat because you haven't eaten in 4 hours. You want to eat. You want to like. I'm sure the listeners are engaged right now.
Fuck yeah, they are.
But like, yeah, you want to eat. You want to like sleep because you haven't slept. You've been moving around and cleaning. And thank you so much. And it was
Nice.
it was a ritual. It really was a ritual. And so, because, yeah, I did it with friends and I started doing it alone. And then I was just like trapped in my room, like picking my skin, trying to get myself dreadlocks, piercing my lip. That's how I got gauges. And like,
You pierced your own ears?
well, me and my friends did it. But like, but I would gauge gauge my ears by myself. Like I gauged my own ears. Wow. And so, yeah, like it was a weird time.
And your mom was never onto you?
My sister found me with a pipe in my hand and passed out because I went through narcosis, which is when you do too many drugs, you fall asleep. And then, like, I woke up and the pipe was not in my hand and it was, like, on my shelf. Like, they kept it. They didn't take it away from me for some reason.
They wanted you to know that they were onto you.
Yeah, that you didn't lose
still,
it.
Take it away.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Let's clean up his room a little bit while he's out.
Right.
We dusted your pipe.
Right.
They just don't vacuum the place he's laying down.
I was like,
look
the
how
meth,
dirty. Where
the
you
meth
at?
gnomes came in. What would I know? And that's when I had to quit. I literally quit through Google. I was like, how do you quit doing math?
And how do you quit? If anyone out there's listening
there was like
who needs to help, we've got help for you. How do you quit?
Use Google. And,
okay.
And
which you're probably already doing
that's
because
how
you're
I
on
do.
meth.
You're on meth and you're Googling crazy shit, right? And so I just looked up like tips on how to quit and how to like go through withdrawals. They said like I learned that you can't quit right away. You have to do it in doses or else you go through like really physical pain.
I've heard sleep
Sleep a lot.
But even that's the
maintain
same,
your diet.
The same can be said with just medication. I mean, if you're on anxiety medication, which I'm on, you can't just quit cold turkey. You literally have to take the dosage. The pills you have, cut them in half. Take those for a week.
That's exactly
cut
what
that
I
in
had
half.
to do.
Because if you just stop, you get sick, like flu sick.
Really?
But to the point where you're like, I'm going to die, and the only way to get out of this is to take that little pill, and then I'll feel 100%. And that's...
Well, when I think about not drinking, sometimes I get anxiety. But then I just, because I think it like, oh, that'll freak me out. I better drink less.
Right.
And then that's just scare myself into drinking less.
Right, yeah. Just like,
but I don't like the idea of not having something that I do like to do all the time. Like that makes me nervous, even if it's like something that is healthy for me or whatever. Just if somebody tells you you can't ever have this again starting right now, I get upset.
Yeah,
like even if it was something stupid like cheesecake that I don't even probably eat.
It takes 27 days to break a habit. Really? And so I would think like, okay, get to that 27th day. And then, so I was listening to a lot of Sarah McLachlan. Yeah,
I love Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, I
knew I purchased Anthony off of the TV.
Started this?
And then I was listening to her album Afterglow, and then I was just like, is she singing about me? Like I was so whacked out. Like I thought her songs were about me. And it was just
maybe not even that,
insane.
but you related so much. As in comedy, you relate to material, right? Like the comics you really, really enjoy. You relate to the material. So it's like, dude, I totally get exactly what that person's saying.
Right.
And you related to those songs, which helped you?
This was like a couple years before I did stand-up when I quit. So I wasn't even thinking about it. Comedy was not in my brain. But I was writing, I was writing comics, and I was a writer, but I wasn't like...
So you were writing when you were on meth?
Yeah, I was writing and drawing, and I was
I know someone who got very, very artistic when they were on meth, and when they quit, they're just like, I don't have it anymore. It's gone. The gift is gone. No way. Yeah, because he wanted to do...
They stopped the drug and they couldn't draw anymore?
Yes, because he's just like, I mean, his art's amazing, and you're like, wow, you need to go do something with this. And he quit, and he just comes to me, he's like, it's gone.
Well, I can't. Well, I ended up going to art school, so I kept drawing.
Okay, so Anthony kept that shit.
Then,
I learned how to draw. I was sketching and doodling and drawing comics, but then I went to art school and I was like, okay, this is how you draw and paint. Okay.
And it wasn't even like the ability was gone. It was like he had no more inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then what brings me to my next question is, when you were writing and then when you got sober, did you look back at your writing and go, wow? Because my same friend wrote a book. Now he's got writer's block, right?
Right.
Like,
I used to write really dumb shit. Like it was just like I was watching.
So you're better now.
Okay, like druggies will watch any drug movie. Like they upset.
Great.
Yeah, like this is about me. Blah blah blah.
Clockwork Orange.
So I was watching.
This is the best movie ever.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange. I'm watching Requiem for a Dream.
Oh my god, that movie freaked me out. That movie made me never want to do drugs.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, never do drugs.
But oh my god, it's so sad.
Yeah, Hubert Selby Jr. became one of my favorite authors through that phase, and he was the author of Requiem for a Dream, and he is amazing. Like,
it's a great movie, though.
It's a great movie, but this author captivated me because, like, all of his books were about the demise of the human mind and the human being. And so he wrote this book, Last Exit to Brooklyn. and it is amazing. Like, it's like short stories of people that lived in Brooklyn who just their minds just deteriorated. And his philosophy was that, like, you people write books and there's happy endings, but most of the time people don't have happy endings. People die and
There's
they're
a movie
unhappy.
that looking back now, when I was younger, I'd watch anything, and it really didn't affect me. But now that I'm an adult and have responsibilities, there's certain movies I'll watch, like Requiem for a Dream, that really freak me out. It's just like, oh God, it freaks me out just to watch it. And one of them was so good, and it was like something Midnight, and Ben Stiller was in it, and it's a movie about
Midnight
heroin.
Cowboy?
No, I'll look it up for you, but it was so good.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
At midnight.
No.
Yeah. Is it on weeknights?
Is it a game show?
Hot, cold.
Yay.
Okay, so let's not talk about meth anymore.
All right, no more meth talk.
No, but it's so interesting to
It
me.
is
Like,
interesting,
Yeah,
though.
but
People
that
have
part-
the most
Yeah, so when I see meth hits, I'm like, I know what you're going through, girl. And so, like, my heart goes out to them in some sort of way. But, yeah, now I just basically drink and
He loves
do
to-
I've
comedy.
upgraded my life. I
Yeah.
drink, I do heroin.
Now I'm a
and-
normal person. I'm level-headed. I'm not angry. I'm not...
Oh, you seem happy.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty happy right now. Which is rare for me to say.
Aw.
Did you know they're making a Zoolander 2?
How do you top the first one? I mean, where do you
So,
go from
I just
there?
looked up
Let
Ben
me tell you
Stiller's
Where do you
something.
go from there?
There's a Zoolander 2.
What a great
There's going to
segue.
be another 9/11 because Zoolander came out when 9/11 happened.
Really?
That's why.
That's that long ago?
Yeah,
And that's why
how
it happened.
That's why it happened. Well, like, everybody went to watch that movie. That's why it got so popular, because they were like, "Oh shit, everyone's dead.
We need something happy."
Yeah, we need something to be happy."
It was a terrible movie.
I've never seen it. Oh.
It was funny back then because I was about 14 years old. But now I watched it recently. I was with
You were.
and I was with.
So weird, dude. It's so weird to
We
hear
just
that.
get older every episode.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
I was a sophomore in college.
no way. Well, I'm not trying to rub it in your face. Believe me, guys, I'm not. I mean, it was kind of fucked up, but it's So. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Zoolander and 9/11.
Permanent Midnight.
Permanent Midnight.
Oh, that's what it's called?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Ben Stiller's been in 120 movies.
Only 120.
I didn't know.
Wow.
Well, this was out in
Specifically.
1996.
That's what it said.
This
Oh, that's
came
what.
out.
Oh, you
Yeah.
read that?
This movie
Yeah.
came out in 1996. He really wasn't all that. No one really knew. There was no dodgeball in 1996.
5 of those movies were seen.
All right. I have a million questions.
Show me how to do math.
No, that's definitely not one
Who
of
do
them.
I
Are you
buy
on meth
I want
now?
to stay so far
What's
away
the
from
name of your
drugs it's
teacher?
embarrassing. First, one thing off of the top that you didn't promote is your podcast.
I didn't.
That I
I thought we
want
were
you to
just
do.
doing shows and Twitter.
No,
What-
no,
no,
no.
yeah,
Talk
everything.
about
dude.
you.
So I have a podcast named Thank You for Being a Podcast. It is a podcast about the Golden Girls where we recap episodes of the Golden Girls with a guest comedian every
It's
week
Fucking awesome.
with Genevieve Rice. You listen to it.
Dude, it's so fun.
Is
Yay.
it hard to find guests to do that show?
Hard to find guests.
You're not Golden Girls era.
Oh, well, we find, you know what? We ask guests to be on the show without knowing if they like the show or not. We've had people that really are obsessed with the show, and we've had
Golden
people
Girls?
that show up and they're like, I've never seen it. And I'm like, well, okay, that's a different perspective. Let's watch it and then let's recap it. And so we get like all kinds of different it's all comedians. And
How
so
did you start what gave you the idea for the Golden Girls?
well, I personally, as you can tell, love the Golden Girls. And I was obsessed with the Golden Girls growing up. And when I moved to the U.S., like, I would put on the captions of my TV shows and learn English. And so me and my sister did that.
That's
And
how
so-
you learn
That's
English?
very
Not-
cool.
The Golden Girls taught Anthony English.
Yeah.
They
He's
are
an
the
old
Well,
Golden Girls.
that was
You
right.
are.
I was
love
an
the
old
Golden
soul, and I wanted to like not. I mean, there were teachers also in school that taught me English, but like it was
But
just
none like Betty White and B.
My
Arthur.
first
Nope.
English words were "picture this, Sicily."
Okay, so
I'm
who
just
was your
kidding.
favorite? Who was your favorite Golden Girl? Was it Blanche? She was my
I love
favorite.
Blanche.
She was the slut. I loved her.
She's
and the mean grandma.
As I watch the show more and more, Sophia was my favorite, but as I watch the show more, I'm really in love with Blanche and Rose because they're the most quirky, lovable characters.
Such a good show.
And so it is
It really is.
We wanted
Didn't
to
it
do a
back-to-back
show.
with Designing Women?
Oh yeah, Designing Women, Golden Girls.
Dope, dude.
And so I wanted to write for the Golden Girls when I was little. Like I thought that show was on, even though it was already, it was done with.
Reruns.
But I didn't know. I didn't fucking know.
Remake.
And so
Like the
Yes.
Ghostbusters.
remake.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I want Ghostbusters remade with Golden Girls. Bring them
All
back
right.
to life.
But
Hell
isn't
yeah.
Ghostbusters going to be all girls now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shouldn't the Golden Girls be dudes?
Or the
that
Golden
would
Girls
suck, though.
should be ghosts, and they have to like they're haunting everybody.
That would be funny. They'd be funny ghosts.
They would. Sophia
All they
would,
do is
but
just
Betty-
haunt Betty White.
Just make
Yeah.
fun of people.
No, they have Betty White is the key to capturing them. So they have to use her as a decoy.
Okay, now,
Right.
did
She's
the
like
show ever
Slimer.
wrap up? Did they end
Yes,
it?
it did end.
How did they
and
end it?
They ended with
Was there a marriage?
yeah, there are several marriages.
Dorothy.
And so Rose marries Miles. Sorry, spoiler
Spoiler
alert.
alert. That
Spoiler
was-
alert,
hit the
1992 spoiler alert, guys.
Button.
Yeah. That was easy. That spoiler alert was so easy. And so Dorothy ends up marrying Blanche's like brother, I think.
Okay.
And they become related. Like she becomes her niece or something.
Right.
Her
They end up being family.
they're gonna be being family. And then then Dorothy just sort of leaves, and then Rose is gonna leave, and then Sophia's gonna leave, and then I believe Blanche ends up with somebody too, but I'm not too sure. But then I'm not. Then it didn't matter what happened to Blanche, Rose, and Sophia really because the spin-off occurred right after Golden Girls was over.
Who was the spinoff?
The spin-off was called The Golden Palace, and it's when Rose, Blanche, and Sophia open up a hotel. And Don Cheeto is the cook, and then Tommy Chong is the bellboy or something like that. And it's like, it lasted one season. It was not very good.
Like Joey.
No one knows about, like Joey. Yeah.
That's a great reference.
Yeah, that's
really
what I
good.
think of too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back then there was several spin-offs that worked and did not work. But yeah, me and Genevieve Rice are enjoying it a lot. You can find Tiff Bab, well, we call it Tiff Bab. Thank you for being a podcast abbreviated. It's Tiff Bab at Twitter. You can find us on Stitcher and iTunes and everywhere.
And listen, you do it chronologically, right?
Yeah.
That's
So
the greatest.
we recap the episode scene by scene, deconstructing it and coming up with crazy, wild theories.
Okay.
And hold on, before you say that, their description every time when you read it, it's like in my head, I'm like, how did you even come up with that? Because it makes it even that much more interesting. When you look at their episode, it's like, Blanche does meth, and Sophia talks about having a threesome. It's like, I don't remember that shit at all.
Well, we do.
It was adult humor, Cap.
We
It was
do,
over your head.
But that's what I'm saying. Every description's like, holy shit, I gotta rewatch Golden
That's what was
Girls.
really going on.
Well, what we do on Facebook and Twitter, we come up with plots that aren't real, and so we'll just be like, we'll make it like Simpsons theme, like Rose marries Flanders, and then Blanche holds up the Quickie Mart or something like that. And so we'll tweet those out. But then we have a real descriptions. And this past episode, we had Steve Maxwell on, and we did Nice and Easy, which was the one where Blanche's niece comes in to visit, and she's like a super slut, and so Blanche she's out-slutted by her own
Well,
niece.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the B plot is
Their son is Charlie Sheen.
right. Yes, and then the B plot is there's a mouse in the house.
Okay.
And so it's tons of fun, and I'm having
Dude, it is a blast.
But
And then I also heard that the super old one, what's her name?
Sophia,
The little old one? Yeah,
Yeah.
Sophia. I heard in real life she was actually younger than the whole cast.
Yeah, she was younger than everybody. They put her under like 45 to 1 hour of makeup before each show.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Because they couldn't have an 80-year-old. Back then, it was unethical.
God, so back then, Betty White was closer to our age.
Yeah, Betty White's like 93 now. She's on a TV show. And
wait, she's 83?
93.
No way.
She's
still alive?
Betty White is the only one.
Oh yeah, Betty White's
alive.
alive.
Yeah, she does that Off Your Rocker or whatever.
She does. She's doing Hot in Cleveland.
Hot in Cleveland, and then what's it, off Your Rocker or something like that?
I'm not sure what that is.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
I know what that is. It's like a prank show.
What is it?
Yeah, it's old people doing a prank show. It's
so randomly on TV.
Funny.
It's not
really.
Yeah, I don't know
funny.
if it's like
One
a
of those
series show,
I think
but
it's called Off Your Rocker.
It is
something.
Okay, I need to see that.
yeah, it's a prank show.
Is it like Bad Grandpa kind of?
Yeah, but Betty White's in it, and like some other older people.
Some classy people.
Classy. Oh yeah.
Clint Eastwood playing a prank.
Oh my gosh, there's some funny pranks. There's some really funny.
They're
pranks.
just like. They're just wearing a mustache. I'm pranking you.
Yeah.
No,
does Eastwood have a personality?
We don't know where your sandwich is, ma'am. You're Clint Eastwood. No, I'm not.
No, it's actually they do a good job for the elderly.
For the elderly.
See, I won't talk bad about him. I won't do it
Right.
because I feel like I'm so close.
Oh no, you're not. We talk so much shit about old people on the Golden Girls. So yeah, we are not very nice.
But it's awesome and it's super fun to listen to. So listeners, dig it. Listen to his podcast, man, because it's way fun every week.
It sounds awesome.
Especially because we watched that shit. I mean, we were kids growing up and we
grew
still
up with
watched it.
that.
And I always thought that Sophia was going to die. I'm like, next week she's not going to be there. She's so old.
And then someone told me she was the youngest one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I have a question for both of you because I don't know why I think about this all the time. I loved Gilligan's Island, and I always think, which character are you?
I watched Gilligan's Island when I was living in Mexico, actually, but I didn't really watch it.
Praying that.
The historical documents.
However they get off. Off that island.
Galaxy
I'm
Quest.
going that way too.
Did you see Galaxy Quest?
I remember Galaxy Quest. It was not very good.
Sigourney Weaver. Oh my god, it's one of my favorite movies.
Was it?
Is that Tim Allen?
Tim Allen,
Well,
Sigourney
I think
Weaver?
I'm thinking of Pluto Nash,
No, that
maybe.
sounds terrible.
Okay, that's where we're...
Eddie Murphy, Pluto Nash.
Oh, yeah. That was terrible.
Eddie Murphy's coming back to Saturday Night Live.
Really?
Yeah, for an episode.
You made it sound like he's like joining the
cast. I know. I was making a big deal,
Which
but
Gilligan's Island character do you relate to the most? Every time I ask people, they like to pick
Ginger. They pick Ginger.
Everybody picks Ginger or Marianne.
Or Marianne.
The rich guy.
I don't know.
I think Gilligan for me.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've always been like, I've always thought I remind myself so much of Gilligan the way like I just piss people off.
Yeah,
and I don't.
And you're
mean
trying to do good.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
how I
and
feel.
you just get into trouble,
and I just get it wrong a lot, and I feel like that.
Are you? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, a lot.
Are they older?
I'm the middle of like
You're the middle.
7.
Well, that's probably why. Because you feel like somebody's always not unhappy. You can't.
Maybe.
You can't. Satisfy
Gilligan's
everybody.
The ultimate middle child syndrome.
Well, you can never satisfy the captain ever. He's always trying to make him.
Skipper,
and then he would never satisfy. Yeah, they could never find
your character.
I don't know. I never really watched Gilligan's Island.
Really?
But Gilligan was the goofy guy, right?
Yeah.
So probably him.
We're all
Am I the
Gilligan.
skipper?
You're calculated. Yeah.
You're the boat with the hole. You're just on an island.
I'm not even a person.
You're one of the cannibals in the island.
They would like almost get rescued, and then they'd like get left on the island. I thought it was the greatest show ever.
I don't know. Oh.
It was a fun show. It really was. I love the Golden Girls and I love Cheers. I watched everything like a night. I loved Lucy. I loved Roseanne. Roseanne was actually happening.
I liked Roseanne.
Yeah.
As an adult, I find it really annoying because she's that voice. When you're a kid, it doesn't bother you so much. But I thought.
By the way, Roseanne as a stand-up comic, if you ever get to see her go, because it's unbelievably hilarious. Mm-hmm. She's an incredible stand-up. Mm-hmm. I get if some people don't maybe like the TV show or her voice is annoying or whatever.
I think she's funny.
But for her stand-up act, 45 minutes to an hour, I promise you will shit your pants laughing. So bring diapers and another pair of pants. She's just so good. She's just a great stand-up actor.
She's a classic. She's very, very funny. I love her. Yeah.
But the show was great. And but that show too, in comparison to everything else that was on at that time, that was more of the lower middle class that related much more to everybody.
At that time of the day when we were watching all that TV, was it like after school?
It was around 3 p.m. Probably around 3 to 4. We came home. It was on. But you're right. That show was lower. It was one of the few shows that was in the 90s that was lower income class because and you had like Mumford and Sons
Mr.
back in
Belvedere.
the day. Yeah, but those were the older shows. And
There's
then like
a lot of shows about rich people with maids and nannies.
yeah,
Every show was like that.
And that was the
Money's
humor.
never an
Right.
issue with TV shows, right? It's like,
Right.
oh, we're going to go here, we're going to do
Because
this,
everybody
that.
can relate.
But
to
every
the
show
Fresh
that
Prince
was
of
in the
Bel-Air.
90s, like every other show, every other sitcom specifically, was like Step by Step and Full House, and they were trying to portray this super happy family, you know.
I
and
forgot, what was Step by Step about?
Step by Step was like a
remember the
knockoff the
song.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, step by
was
step,
it Suzanne-
day by
Suzanne-
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Suzanne Summers?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good
the
one. I
wife
liked
and the
that.
dad,
Yeah.
they get
The
together,
cute dad with
but
the curly hair. What
yeah,
was
it was just
Patrick?
it was a knockoff.
Patrick
It was
something.
just a knockoff Brady Bunch because it was
God.
3 kids, except the wife had 2 boys and a girl, and a
And they
dad
had the super long hair.
2
the
girls
super
and a
hot
boy.
Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so then they got together and
And
like
they were all just really good looking.
but it yeah, I
That's
was
what the
like
show
you
was
guys are
about.
just
And then the
You
one
guys are
idiot guy that
just
came over,
Brady
what was that
Bunch.
dude's name?
It was like a Keanu Reeves type.
Yeah, it was.
what was his
Write a
name?
show.
I'm going to look it up.
Like
You guys keep
Bacon or
guessing.
something.
Bacon.
Hey,
It
Bacon!
was, no, dude, Boner was
Boner!
But
That
that
was
wasn't
Bacon. That was a good guess.
that wasn't that show, though. That was a different
Oh,
show.
man.
That was a
Patrick
different
Duffy,
show.
by the way,
Patrick
was the name you were
Duffy,
thinking
that
of.
was the dad.
Yeah, he yeah.
And
And the
Yeah.
girl, the
See.
sisters were like
I didn't
super
like Step by
hot.
Step. I thought other shows. I thought Frasier was funny. I thought Cheers was
Yeah.
funny. But yeah. And then Brady Bunch didn't. I never caught on to Brady Bunch. I just never really enjoyed it.
I always feel like the way Cheers was filmed reminds me of how I Met Your Mother's filmed. Like the same kind of lighting and bar scene, and
Oh, the
it's
same
always
picture,
the same,
kind of?
Yeah, it's always like the same group of people having the same group of problems, and they all date each other. And
in a
there's
big stage.
yeah, it just
a big stage.
Cheers always reminds me of How I Met Your
Yeah.
Mother. I mean, they're not the same story at all, but just how it's filmed and like just the darkness.
Everyone's drunk.
Yeah, everyone's drunk,
How I Met Your
and
Mother.
it's okay.
No one knows who their mother is.
Exactly.
Oh man! And what I didn't get about Brady Bunch was that like I didn't get how like it was the dad's name was Brady, and then when they got together, the daughters' names became Brady, like Jan Brady, Marsha Brady,
They
because
all took his
they
name.
yeah, like how why would they change their names?
He was
to-
that good.
He was that good.
He was that
Or
incredible.
they were both both were Brady last names, the mother and
Yeah.
the dad. Like,
never came into
Mr.
picture.
and
Yeah.
Mrs. Brady, but you know that's how you like your mail comes, Mr. and Mrs.
Right.
I mean, I guess. I mean, this is like a long time ago, and there was always like a moral of the story at the end of each episode.
Right.
Almost too much, where I didn't really enjoy it.
Where I enjoyed that there was a moral at the end of each episode was King of the Hill because it was very sneaky
God.
and very unexpected. Did you like that show?
I didn't when I first started liking it, and now I do think it's pretty funny, actually.
I think it's so funny.
But
Just-
there is always a moral at the end of the story.
Yeah, and it sneaks up on you because you forget because all these raunchy things are happening, and then at the end,
Bobby's
you're
the kid.
just
He's
yeah.
always learning a lesson. Which brings me to something I wanted to talk about.
I think we're just talking about a lot about
Okay,
TV.
but I'm tempted to let my kids watch a certain episode of Beavis and Butthead, which is my favorite.
All day, man. I
'Cause
don't censor my child.
They are selling Girl Scout cookies. So I catch them. There was an episode where Beavis and Butthead are selling like chocolate, and they just buy it from each other, and then they borrow the same dollar back and forth and buy it from each other. And
That's
so when they
great.
turn in their slip, the guy's like, "Who'd you sell to?" He goes, "Betty and her 5 sisters." So my kids are selling Girl Scout cookies, so they're borrowing money from each other to buy cookies from each other. So at the end, like, I have to come up with this money. Like, I have to turn this in. So they're literally borrowing money from each other to buy cookies from each other. Like, they're in the hole, like
Right.
$100.
They're
at
in
this
the black.
point.
Ugh.
And I'm trying to keep track of it. And I literally overheard my daughter say, "I'll sell you my Monster High watch for a box of Thin Mints." And I'm thinking, as adults, if we were a part of an
What,
organization
how is that gonna? Yeah, how are you
that
gonna make money
delivered-
off of that?
let's say, painkillers to veterans. Can you see that going any different? I'm out of money. I'll sell you my watch.
Yeah.
I mean, we are literally like creating little tiny dealer systems with these fucking Girl Scout cookies.
And then she's like, is there any gold in your watch?
Yeah. I mean, when...
Cash for gold.
So now they're just asking me, I want to buy another box. I'm just like, fuck. So at this point, we're rolling coins, right? This is what I did 2 days ago.
Okay.
I get the coins because I'm out of throwing them dollar bills. I'm here, take the fucking buying cookies with coins from each other. So I go to the bank and I get those little rollers. I roll them. I take them back to the bank. The bank then tells me, okay, I need to send them out to get counted. Where are you going to send them to? You're the bank. Who do they send them to?
I remember there was like some banks would have a machine that counted your coins and you just threw them in there.
If not, isn't it their money to count them, or their job to count the money? Like, where's the bank?
But they're already rolled, right?
Yeah, you just weigh it.
Back in the day, you could just take your coins to the bank.
Yeah.
That's what I thought
but
we
they
were
don't-
doing.
You can still do
They
that.
gave me the coin rollers. I said, okay, I'll be back in an hour. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, they didn't say, like, oh, just so you know, we have to send them off. And we'll cut you a check and send it to you in the mail.
Wait, they're sending it off or you have to send it
They
off?
are sending it off.
Oh, okay.
Where does the bank send money to? You're already a bank. Right? Does that make
know.
sense to anyone?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
man. I'm
they
Jewish,
probably
I don't
sent
get
the
it.
coins to like whatever bank you bank at headquarters.
Well, I said
and they
no.
count them all
Give
like.
me my coins back. So I went to my bank and they were like, yeah, no problem.
Oh man.
But it just made no sense to me. Like, you're already a bank. Where are you sending this imaginary money to?
Right, because they don't have the
Because the
coin
person
counting
who didn't-
equipment.
Maybe. I mean, I would hope so.
Right.
They're the bank. Like, I don't understand, like, what other
the
facility
second time
is
Kevin goes
I know,
to
he
pee.
always does. What facility is more
episode is
qualified
called
than a bank to count
Appropriately
money?
Inappropriately peeing during the podcast.
Yeah, you know, whatever. Yeah, if anybody out there thinks that sound they hear in the background sounds like pee, it's pee.
I mean, it's
Kevin
raining
peeing.
outside, but not that loud.
It's raining.
Yay.
Do you love the rain?
I absolutely love the rain. I took a nap today before I came here, and I was like really happy about the rain, but I wasn't happy that like I had to drive in it.
Are you one of those people who gets really nervous to drive in the rain?
Not so much because I lived in Flagstaff, and so there was tons of snow all the time.
Got it.
And so I was, if I can deal with that, I can deal with the rain. Just like my car just was kind of foggy, and so I couldn't really see this time. But it was okay. I made it here, even though there was no exit sign on the Shea exit.
On
from
the
101.
Shea.
I know it's Shea, but I say Shea.
No, it's Shea.
It's a
It's
Shea?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Shea. Okay. Because I used to say Shea because I'm Mexican. And so,
Isn't Shea a
What does that
Mexican
mean
word?
in Spanish?
well, just phonetically in Spanish, you say Shea.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Justin Bieber. I know this is a weird segue. Justin Bieber's getting roasted by Comedy Central.
That's great.
Rumor has it that it's going to be at the Laugh Factory down the street from our
In
studio.
Scottsdale?
Yeah.
It's not. They need a bigger stage.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But
He's not that big.
rumor has it.
It's supposed to. You're supposed to get an auditorium, and it's
Yeah.
it has to be in LA or New York.
Well,
So
it doesn't
they-
have to be one or the other, but it does need to be a bigger venue with a bigger stage because they
Right.
have to
Because
sit on a
they've-
dais.
I mean-
you can't just go up one by one.
They've only had them like in big cities because they need the celebrities to come.
Yeah. The
Oh,
reason
people
I
like
kind of
Arizona.
believe it is because Bieber always goes to the Laugh Factory in LA. When he's in California at home, he goes there every night and wants to get roasted by
That's so
D'Elia
lame.
and all the other comics. So the fact that it's happening, I get it. The dude, look, I don't have a lot to say about him. One, because I don't know a ton about him. The fact that he's grown up the way he has, I get it. I get why he fucks up a lot and acts like an imbecile and
He's a
gets away with it
kid.
because he's always gotten away with it. And he's made $200 million by doing
No
it.
way. That's tons of money.
So I'm super excited.
Just buy the network so they have to roast
It's
him.
so.
I'm excited that they're going to
You know
roast
what?
this kid.
He's a kid.
I'm excited because it's a challenge because he gets made fun of so much.
It's
and
an
so
easy target.
it's an easy target. and
Selena
so-
Gomez is frightened that she's going to get
She's-
made fun of. And she's
Oh,
like, I don't have
really?
anything to do with this. I just date the dude, but
Why
I'm
does
going to
she
get
date
torn
him?
apart. He's probably not as big of a fucking asshole as we think he is.
Publicity.
Right. Well,
publicity.
maybe publicity. I'm sure that plays a role in it. But also, we only see him when he's out in public. I'm sure they hang out together at home and he's like a decent, all right guy.
Really?
I don't
You're giving
know.
him too much credit.
Yeah,
there.
I probably am.
I'm sure he's.
Maybe.
I think he's like a dick
Yeah.
24/7.
You think so?
Like even when he's sleeping, you're just like, oh, that guy's sleeping like a dick.
He probably laughs in his
Yeah.
like happy in his sleep. That's not allowed.
Well, I hope it's out here because that'd be fun. That's supposed to be the laugh.
It'll be
Factory
like the
kickoff,
Super
like
Bowl.
the grand
Something's
opening.
gonna happen here, and no one's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone's going to the Super
The
Bowl.
Super
no
Bowl.
one's
What are you
going.
talking about?
Are you
It's
going?
sold out.
So,
But it's not sold to like us.
But the
Tickets
Super
are
Bowl is-
billions.
season tickets
No,
for the
this-
Cardinals, you don't automatically get a ticket.
No,
Yeah,
you go
you-
into a lottery.
Yeah.
You go in. Yeah, so not
The Super
everybody
Bowl's
gets
like
to
that.
go, right?
I've been to a Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
there's like one out of like maybe 1,000 people in this city that are going.
Yeah.
So was it incredible?
Your pee.
No,
Your
the Super Bowl. It's way different than any other game you've ever been to, but it's corporate. That's all the Super Bowl is it's corporate.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was my fart, guys.
farted. You queefed out of your dick.
No, I opened
So-
my butt cheeks and let air out, so it wouldn't make a fart
All the
sound.
bubbles.
Just like. Katy Perry's gonna be the.
Yeah, she's a halftime show.
She's
right?
a halftime show. Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
I was thinking about how to break in.
What-
Like I really was, because like I've snuck into
Toby's
that.
know
doing
someone
it, man.
who
Yeah,
can get you
Toby's
in.
doing
Yeah?
it. Yeah.
Because I've snuck in before, because I've never been to an NFL game before in my life, and I went to one this season, and I didn't know that you couldn't go back in when you left. And I went to my car to get my glasses because I was being an old lady and I was like, I can't see them play football. And so I left and I couldn't get back in. And so there was like this like a bougie lady at the end who was like, I saw her let in 2 lesbians. And then I was like, if I wait long enough for the manager to leave, like those lesbians did, and ask her to let me in, then I can sneak in. So I'm just gonna bank on that bougie girl.
What does bougie mean?
Bougie is like somebody that's ghetto but dresses nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Nancy, all right. The Super Bowl is weird. If you
Yes.
go as a normal person,
We
it's
are all
weird.
agreed on that.
Because you go and it's like famous people everywhere, but then anyone that's not famous is like the CEO of some major company.
Have you
It's
been
just-
to a Super
yeah,
Bowl?
It's
Is that
just way corporate. So
is
when
it
I
like
went-
celebrities everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sit down. We had 50-yard line. We were, I don't remember what row, maybe 14 or something, right? So incredible seats. Like sitting right behind me was Evander Holyfield, who took up like 3 seats because he was gigantic. We had Gail
This
Sayers.
comes out the Super Bowl, right?
This comes out on Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
on
Super
Super Bowl
Bowl,
Sunday.
okay.
Gail Sayers was sitting in our row, but like the section over on the aisle. And if anybody doesn't know him, he's incredible running back for the Bears a long time ago. Hall of Famer. Reba McEntire and MC Hammer were sitting like front row in our section. Saw him getting up.
Hammer time.
Dude, it was insane. I'm like, what are we doing here? But you're sitting there, you're watching the game, and you're like, I don't give a fuck about either one of these teams, and I'm missing every
I'm just
commercial.
watching Reba McEntire.
Oh, you don't get to see the commercials? I bet they air them now on the big screen.
They didn't
Jumbotron.
then. No, I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they don't. Although that would be genius if they did.
Yeah,
You should
why
pitch
wouldn't
that
that?
at the next Super Bowl meeting.
Yeah. Well, I'll,
Hey guys, I have an idea for the Super Bowl.
I'll just add it to my PowerPoint real
Let's
quick.
play the commercials
Yeah,
during the game.
But back then, when I went, you couldn't record anything except with the VCR. Like, and that was too
a
difficult.
camcorder.
Yeah, way too
You rested
difficult.
up on your shoulder like this.
you couldn't use
So
your phone.
we stayed for the first half, and then we went home
Do you-
after because like, dude, we're missing so much. We don't care about either one of these teams.
Right.
Yeah. Did you
Did you take a selfie with
with his
No, with
camera,
the huge
his
cameras.
Nikon camera.
Yeah. Just like
Do you do the open?
But you get
open?
free shit at your seat.
Like a little gift bag?
Yeah, every
Like a
seat's got a
t-shirt
gift
of, like,
bag.
a
how
phone
did you get to
finger?
go to
Bunch
the
of stuff.
Super Bowl?
Yeah,
how did
how
you
did
land
you-
tickets?
I don't know how we landed tickets. I mean,
just
I was a
Got
kid.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to ask my dad.
Drugs, meth. Meth was involved.
Dad got
Jesus
My
was
dad
involved.
somehow got the
Just
tickets,
one
so
nice
we
dad
went.
you have. And he chose you
and we
to
were crushing
go.
it. Well, we got 4 tickets.
And
so-
you have like 10 brothers and sisters, and you chose you.
He's an only child. No, you have a sister.
I have a sister. She's way old.
Okay.
Yeah, Phoenix Open. I fucking love.
You do.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
The
right.
Phoenix
you took
Open,
your
the
son
golf?
last year.
dude, I love.
You like golf?
I love golf.
You took your son last year, right?
I take my son every year.
You going?
And he cleans up.
with the ladies.
And what I mean by that,
After he shits everywhere on the golf field, he cleans up.
dude, my son and I we go to the 3rd hole.
That's
So
what she said.
everybody, I fucking love it.
We just fist bumped to a "That's what she said" joke, by the way, listeners.
Yeah. My son and I go to the 3rd hole. It's the first real par. I think it's a par 4 or par 5, where they tee off and just knock the shit out of the ball. And so my son and I sit at the tee box, and all the volunteers there give him drinks and snacks and stuff because he's a little dude. I mean, he just turned 6.
It's
So,
his Super Bowl.
dude. Every golfer that comes by
It was Reva
to tee
McEntire
off,
there.
give
Hey,
him
little man,
shit.
you have anything I can sign?
Dude, they give my son everything.
Let's bring
He
him.
cleans up.
Hey, little man,
That's
you want to
All
clean
he
up
does
my
is stand
shit?
there. All he does is stand there, and they're like, "Dude, here's a signed golf ball from
Here
this
you
guy.
go.
Here's a towel. Here's
Wow.
anything I've
Yeah,
got in my
he goes,
bag."
"Dad,
So I've got to
sell
start
this."
hiding it after a few golfers.
You
So I'm
have
like,
to put it in your
Here's
clear
the pocket
plastic
knife.
bag. No purses, no bags.
Oh, you can have
clear plastic
So
bag.
people have like plastic backpacks and stuff.
"Have you
don't
never
know.
been?"
I've never been to the
I
Phoenix
haven't
Oh,
been
Open.
in
shit,
so
Anthony.
long.
Why would I want to hang out with like a bunch of white people in the middle of the day?
All right,
There's
so here's the
so
thing.
many people.
Here's the thing. There.
Everybody.
Yeah, because I heard that just recently it became like really trendy.
No,
like,
it has been for a long time.
Has it been for a long
Yeah, I
time?
went
There's
in high
so
school.
many
Oh,
douchebags.
really?
Yeah.
I don't
I've
want
been
to
going
deal
since
with
high
that,
school.
and I don't even like golf, and I'm allergic to grass.
Oh,
there you
yeah,
go.
So
you
there's
would
so
die.
many reasons I don't want to go to the Phoenix Open.
You
Don't
would
do
die.
it.
Yeah,
Don't
and then
do
I did
it.
a show in Scottsdale during the Phoenix Open, and it was horrible. Like,
Yeah.
people were just super fucking loud, and I was just like, "Fuck you, Phoenix Open! You're fucking golf, fucking dumbass, fucking shit.
Yeah.
Go fucking die."
So
Yeah,
I'm
don't
sure
go.
you went
Yeah.
over well,
Yeah.
but
Sorry.
no, but that's exactly what
Sorry,
it is,
that was
man.
easy.
The Phoenix Open is filled. If you love people watching, and
But standing around,
well, you can sit on the grass if you're not allergic.
But he's allergic.
Yeah. You
have
can
to
bring a
your own
chair.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you
can
fit in
bring a
its
chair.
clear plastic bags.
if I'm in like inside of a plastic bag, I think I would
Yeah.
be okay.
I'm gonna put you
Like,
in
you guys, I'm in a plastic bag. This is allowed,
You're the
right?
bubble
I'm in a
boy.
bubble.
But dude, it is fun. But yeah, I mean, women that wear like night dresses to go out to clubs and high heels, and guys that
And they
wear
walk around and
like,
just get drunk and
like
fall
in
on the
$50
ground.
wearing
Like,
heels.
It's fucking weird
the
to me.
shirts.
Because isn't it like warmer too?
Yeah, I always like every time I go, I just sit in the sun and I'm like drinking in the day, so I'm just
Yeah.
tired and kind of pissed
And
off.
then
Like,
they're trying to wear like their cute like cardigans, and it's
yeah,
like
and it's hot.
warm.
That's how I feel
And then last
about
time I think it rained and it was muddy. I think.
I don't know. It's
It?
gonna be
Sounds
like that
bad,
this year.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it sounds like a
it's not
bad
for me. It's not
time.
for me. It used to be. I used to like it. Now I'm just like, It has to be something I really like for me to be around all those people in the heat. I don't like the heat, so I
Right.
don't know. I'm better off not going. If I got
I
tickets,
do
I'll give
everything
them
I
to
want to
anyone. I
do
don't care.
during the winter and fall.
Then what? You take summer and spring off?
Yeah, I just don't do anything.
Yeah,
No.
that's his. He hibernates.
Right.
It's his off
Like,
season.
oh, Comic-Con? Nope. Nope, not gonna
I
go.
don't blame you for that. That's some weird motherfuckers that go to that.
They love
Right.
it.
They do. I don't blame them. Look, if you're in your own thing, cool, have at it. But man, they're weird as shit.
Well, it's just like
You played Final Fantasy?
like I'm short, and so like these people like are most of these nerdy guys are pretty tall, and so like, they start to smell, and so I'm at armpit level with these guys, and so it's really
yuck.
disgusting.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not for you.
Yeah,
That's not for
don't
you.
want to do that.
Stay indoors.
Yeah, stay at home. Stay at home where there's air conditioning.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
That's how I like to do
Yeah.
things. Because, I mean, it's got to be a good reason I'm out in the heat. I'm over it. I hate the heat. I'm so tired of it.
I'm done
I know
too.
people that don't live here come, and it's great, and I'm going to sit outside
Right.
and soak up the sun, and then I'm going to move here, and
Oh
fuck
my
you
god!
all.
I know
hate the heat.
my friend from South Dakota wants to move here for the heat, and
Invite
I'm just
them
like,
to stay with you in September.
South Dakota
my
sucks. I'd move anywhere.
Yeah.
I'd move to North Dakota.
there is no North Dakota.
Tell Bill that, man. He's from there.
The other Dakota
I'm just
then.
kidding.
If you told me that, I totally
Really?
believe you, but I don't know. See, I need to get out of Yuma.
Yeah. Get out of Yuma.
410
Stop
to
doing
Yuma.
drugs.
Man.
That's all that
And
matters.
clean up nice.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we got to wrap up.
Aw.
But I know, right?
Because we're going to have sex. We're going to wrap up using condoms.
I have the helmet. Mm-hmm. Got your helmet?
I have the
I'm
mask.
gonna take off. You get no, Anthony, dude, you're coming back, man. We got so much more to talk about
yeah.
with you, dude.
Yay,
so
thank
much
you.
fun. Thank you so much for coming on. Again, plug away everything that you got. Do it.
Okay. I talked about some shows. I'm going to be at the San Luis Obispo Comedy Festival from February 26th through March 1st. Don't forget to check out the podcast. And if you want to check out my other dates, I update them all the time at anthonydesamito.com.
Perfect.
What's your podcast called again?
Thank you for being a podcast.
Everybody listening, go to the website. Crush this guy, man.
Thank
Fucking
you guys for having
everything.
me.
Anthony,
Thanks for coming out.
you're a Hall of Famer guest, man. I love it. Guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for listening. Talk to y'all soon.
This has been another great presentation by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. You can find more information at 4eyedradio.com.